Hello, thank you for clicking on this video. This is my first attempt at a Middle-earth strategy battle game battle report video. First one on the channel, first attempt, so it's a little bit rough around the edges and there's definitely some room for improvement, and that is where you come in. Please do comment. Any feedback, any advice, any tips, anything you think I should do differently, anything you want to see, do get involved. Comment, like, subscribe, and let's grow this and let's get as much SBG content as we can. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to a Tabletop Ramblings SBG battle report. Let's take a look at the armies. Let's have a look at the armies. For good, we've got Faramir on horse with shield, leading 4 knights with shield, and he's got with him 4 warriors with shield and 4 warriors with spear and shield. He's also accompanied by Damrod, who's got 4 rangers with spear and 1 ranger with his sword. For the forces of evil, we've got Scully, a Moranon captain with a shield and pick, and we've got Pointy, the leader, with a shield. Pointy is leading a Warg Rider with shield, and he's got 5 Moranons with shield and 5 Moranons with shield and spear. Scully has got the same warband without the Warg Rider. So I've rolled for the battle. It's going to be Lords of Battle. So this is how it's been set up. The Moranon horde coming over the rocks, through the gaps, and the forces of Minas Tirith ready to repel them. Lords of Battle is just a big straight fight. You get VPs for having more kills and more wounds than the enemy team. If you've got more, you get 3 VPs. If you've got twice as many, you get 5, and if you've got 3 times as many, then you get 7. You also get 1 VP for wounding the enemy leader and 2 for killing him, and you get 1 VP if the enemy force is broken and 3 if they're broken and you are unbroken. So let's roll for priority and get stuck in. Priority, turn 1. And it goes to the forces of good in green. The forces of good just rearrange their cavalry to be outside of 12 inches so that if the enemy win priority next turn, they can still counter-charge. The archers and the infantry stay still. The Moranon horde respond by running forward. Here, Scully's band on the right flank has come slightly across to be outside of some of the cavalry charge, although Faramir will be in next turn. Pointy, up on the rock, jumped down to join his foe, join his friends, and rolled a big 6, getting to move even further forward, ready to get stuck into the fight. End of the movement phase. The archers have stayed still, ready to get some shots. They're just outside of charge range next turn. The infantry stayed still and got ready to brace for impact, and the cavalry just moved slightly out of range of a charge next turn. Moranons then responded by moving across so that they'd be out of range of some of the cavalry, although Faramir will be in range next turn. They all just ploughed forward, ready to get into combat. Pointy, up on the rock, leading his troops from behind like a true orc general, jumped down, ready to get a little bit closer to the fight. And here we are going into turn 2. And that is priority to Mordor. End of turn 2 movement, and Mordor have rushed forward, ready to bring some pain. They've engaged the block of Minas Tirith here, ready to kill, and here their sacrifice was ready to try and stem the cavalry. The cavalry responded by smashing in, and they're getting ready for a heroic move, heroic combat in fact, to try and end this conflict decisively. Just over here, the Rangers took the opposite stance and just shuffled back, ready to get some shots off, and they'll be out of charge range next turn. These 2 cavalry moved to support them, not committing to which side of the battle they're going to go. In the shoot phase, we have 2 Rangers and Damrod hitting on force because they've moved. 1 hits, and Damrod hits as well. They're just going into this random line, wounding on 6s, but unfortunately the armour is just too tough. Start of the combat phase, and Faramir has called a heroic combat. He will be the big dice. The green dice are for the knights, and the red are for the poor, unfortunate orc. And we have a nice, juicy 6 there from one of the knights. Faramir and co. rolling to wound. And he's down 5+ because of the land. First blood to Faramir. He and his men get to move after that heroic combat. And Faramir comes round and into this spearman. This knight follows him into another spearman, and this knight ploughs in as well, ready for the rest of the combat. Evil have priority, so they are going to elect to do this fight first, and the orc is going to shield. And the orc beats back the cavalry. Next fight along is going to be the next cavalry, and again the orc is going to shield. But this time he is not as lucky, as that is a 6, doubling up the strikes from the rider, who then rolls to wound and smashes into pieces using all 4 of those dice. And that orc is dead. And then Faramir fighting this orc, and then this one is going to support him. So it's 2 on Faramir's 3. Faramir wins with a nice big juicy 6. He'll get to roll these twice to wound, needing 5s, and he gets it on the 6. Next fight is those 2 just on the end fighting against this guy with an axe. The guy with an axe is just going to fight normally because he's an orc and he wants blood. Unfortunately, he's not very good, so he loses. Wounded on 6s, but the men are unable to get past his armour, so he backs away. Scully next, with 2 attacks at strength 5, should be able to carve through these guys. His spear support's already fought against Faramir, so it's going to be his 2 on the 2 from Minas Tirith. And Scully has won the combat with that 6, and he's looking for a 5 to wound. And he gets double 1s, so he does absolutely nothing. But he's not dead. There, 2 warriors of Minas Tirith on 1. He's just been pushed back by mistake as the others have gone back. Again, the orc is going to fight, and in fact, he is so brave, he's going to stab. Sadly, he's not won against double 6s. Double 6s needing another 6 to win. They don't get it, and does the stabbing damage do him in? No, he doesn't. So he's absolutely fine, and he backs away. Final combat is these 2 on the end fighting these 2. And it goes to the orcs, needing 5s. They don't get it. After a quick roundup of the models, Mordor has 20 and Minas Tirith have 19. The Mordor army bonus is that if they outnumber the enemy, then they get to reroll 1s. But it doesn't pay off. At the end of turn 2, this is the battlefield, starting to heat up and getting ready for turn 3. Turn 3, priority. And it goes to good. Start of turn 3, and good have priority, so Scully elects to spend his first point of might for a heroic move, countered by Faramir. On a roll off, 4, 5 or 6 it goes to good, 1, 2 or 3 it's evil. And on a 1, Scully and his band get to move first. At the end of that heroic move, the cavalry have been tied down and the infantry have been largely engaged. The heroic move managed to go across far enough to get in the captain, who was charged into Faramir, who is now surrounded. The Warg Riders come in, and it's looking a little bit perilous for Minas Tirith, who are about to counter. After Scully got the jump on Faramir, there wasn't a lot that Minas Tirith could do, except those 2 knights with the pink managed to get charges off and join in, and those rangers have come to try and relieve some of the pressure that the orcs are putting on their comrades. Spear supports have ever so slightly rejigged, and the rangers have come back to be able to get some shots off when these advance, and to be able to try and protect the flank. Forces of Mordor have all moved up there from the heroic move, and here just respond to the rangers by screaming and howling and charging forward. Damrod and the 3 rangers only move back 3 for one last hopeful volley at these orcs. They've moved, so they're hitting on 4s, and Damrod is in red. And that'll do. That'll do. Looking for 6s on these, but unfortunately, it's no dice. Started with a Faramir fight. Faramir didn't charge, so he only has 2 attacks. He'll be in the green. The standard red dice are the 2 orcs, and then the big red dice are for the captain. Faramir does have the fight value, so he's hoping for a big 6. Which he definitely does not get. Fortunately, he's got 2 might, so he burns both of those to get the 6 and win the fight. Faramir has won the fight. He's used all of his might to do it, so he's in a very, very risky position. He needs 6s to wound the captain, or he needs 5s to wound the infantry. So he's going to try and just clear out some numbers, and he's hoping for 2 5s on each of those orcs. And he gets it! Both of those orcs are dead. Faramir really racking up the kills. The orc is pushed back, but as the orc charged, there is no knockdown. In this fight, there's 4 orcs against 1 rider who did not charge. And it's a draw. It goes to evil on a 1, 2, 3, and it goes to good on a 4, 5, 6. And it goes to good, fighting valiantly. He needs a 6 to get that kill. Unfortunately, it's not enough, but he does manage to beat back the horde of orcs who are after him. The next fight along, we've got a 1-on-1. Again, cavalry did not charge. But he does still win, showing the might of Minas Tirith this day. Still needing a 6 and he doesn't get it, but again, not being dead is an achievement for a non-charging knight. Moving across, this knight did charge, so he's going to be looking to put some pain into that orc. The orc is going to be brave and he's just going to stab. And it pays off for him, he does win, and he needs a 5 to bring that man off his horse and to break him. And he gets a 6, smashing him off his horse. He's ridden into that spear and has been destroyed. And that is the first kill for Mordor. This orc is going to hope that he can do the same. He's fighting against a charging rider and a bloke on foot. And he, again, is just going to go big or go home. He's not going to shield. He's going to fight it and hope he rolls big. And he does, but unfortunately it is not quite enough. And now these strikes are double. With the lance on that charging rider, he's only going to need 5s, so he's rolling all of his. And he gets it with 2 6s, and that orc is cooked. The next fight along, we have spearmen, 2 rangers against 1. Again, the orc is going to go brave because he really wants to kill one of those rangers, and he is going to go just fighting normally. In fact, no, he's going to stab. He's going to stab against those 3. And it doesn't pay off for him, unfortunately. And those 3 needing 6s though, and they don't get it, so he can just happily back away and live to fight another day. Coming down here, we've got 4 on Scully. Scully does have the fight value, but he has only got 2 attacks. Fighting those 4, he's just going to fight normally, see what happens. And he gets the 6, pays off. Orcs don't like to shield, they like to kill. He's strength 5, so he's wounding these on 5s. And he is looking to kill both of those front guys on 2 5s. And he doesn't. They back away. But the orc's still alive. Here we've got 2 on a charging warg rider for 2 on 2. And the warg gets it on a 5. These are now double dice, so we'll just roll all of those. And he is looking for strength 4 on 6, so he's looking for 5s. And he eats him for breakfast in the last combat of the fight phase. Turn 3, Faramir was surrounded and on his last legs, but managed to fend off 2 orcs and the captain, killing 2 of the orcs, but taking out all of his might to do so. The fights went fairly evenly, with Mordor getting their first kills, taking a rider off his horse, breaking a guy on the floor. There's still quite a lot of orcs falling for this, and the combats are not going so well for the orcs. Over here, it's a dead pile, the rider and the guy on foot, Minas Tirith losses, but 6 orcs have fallen to the 2 Minas Tirith, so it's not looking too good for the orcs, but there's only 1 might left on Damrod for the forces of Minas Tirith, and the orcs still have enough to start getting them a surprise on these humans and breaking them. So what the battlefield looks like at the start of turn 4, and we're into priority. And it goes to the forces of evil. Start of turn 4, and Mordor have priority. Damrod is the only one with might left for the forces of good, but his heroic move wouldn't reach any of the cavalry, so he's going to save that for a more pivotal moment. End of Mordor's move, and Damrod really wishes that he called that heroic move. He's now surrounded, trapped, and in a bit of a precarious position, but he does have fight value and he does have might. Over here, Faramir is now facing the leader and Scully by himself, but he's again got the fight value and he smashed them all to bits last time, so he's looking hopeful. Everything has just been paired off. There's nothing really other than a few space supports that can move for good. So it's over to the shoot phase, which again, everything's tied up, so now it is fight phase. Big fight. Faramir fighting the 2 captains. Scully with 1 point of might will be in the big red dice. We've got Pointy in the normal red dice, and then we've got Faramir in the green. Faramir does have fight value, so he's hoping to get, again, that 6 and win. And Faramir does it. So Faramir winning the combat. He's going to strike against the leader, try and get some VPs, some victory points. He's going to need 6s on these dice, but he's feeling hopeful. Sadly, it's just 2 for the main body of the fight phase. We have a 1-on-1 here between a knight facing the wrong way and a Moranon equally facing the wrong way. Both got tied fight, and it goes to the orc, who needs 5s to drag him off his horse. Only a 3. So the knight backs away, ready to absolutely annihilate him next turn because he'll be facing the right way. Here, again, not facing the right way, we've got a knight who's been pounced on by an orc. And the orc wins, but sadly unable to wound, and that knight just backs away. In these fights, the orc on foot is going to be fighting those 2 because evil have priority, can break it up, which allows this guy being space supported to just fight this charging warg rider. So it'll be 2 on 2. It goes to the forces of good, who make strikes, needing 5 to drag that guy off his warg, and they absolutely annihilate him. Courage to see if the warg stays, and it does. The rider having been smashed from the saddle, the warg backs away, howling, and it's now this poor orc against those 2. He's going to stab because he's feeling bold. It doesn't pay off for him, unfortunately. Needing 6s to bring him down. He's absolutely fine, and then a 6 for his stabbing damage. He is fine. That tough Moranon armour proving true. And then we have here a 2. In fact, he's already fought. No, he's not. So that's 2 on 1. So the orc there, shielding, does win the fight and pushes them back. Standing a touch too precariously, so the orc will back away, counting them as trapped. Here we've got 1 orc on a rider, which will be 1 dice on 1, and the orc wins, needing a 5 to kill another knight. Oof, not quite. Next along, we've got the ranger and the spearman on that spearman, on the Mordor spearman, and he's going to fight normally. In fact, he's going to stab. It's a drawn fight, but unfortunately the ranger has the fight value. Unfortunately for the orc, good for Minas Tirith. 5 and a 2 is not enough to kill him, so he backs away. I think he did stab him, so stabbing damage, but not enough. We then have the Sword Ranger who's already fought, so he's not in the fight, and it's just a one-on-one. The Ranger against the Warrior of Mordor. And the Ranger wins it on a 4. Making strikes, needing 6s, but it's only a 5. We come down to this mosh pit down here, and we're going to start off with 2 Rangers on 1. Again, he's going to stab. Oh, and that really doesn't pay off for him. With only a 1, he's definitely lost the fight. And we're looking for 6s, which they don't get. Stabbing damage also doesn't kill him. So he just backs away. The next fight along is Damrod against 3. He won't be trapped because Mordor have done that in the wrong order. Damrod only has 1 dice though. He does have the fight value. And he gets a 6, teetering on the edge of the table there. He's strength 4, so he will only need a 5. But on a 1, he doesn't cut it. Final fight in the fight phase, we have 3 on 1. And it goes to the plucky Ranger with a big, big 6. Again, looking for another 6 to get a kill. And he gets it! And he gets it. He takes this guy out who was threatening to come round. And that is the end of the fight phase. So at the end of turn 4, with good priority, saw them manage to not take any extra losses. They're still only on 2 casualties. And they managed to get an extra orc and took a rider out of the saddle. Not bad for being completely outmanoeuvred. This is the battle as it looks now, and we head into turn 5 priority. And it goes to the forces of evil. Start of turn 5 with evil priority. Damrod, with the only one with might for Minas Tirith, decides that he will call that last point of might for a heroic move. He's not in the best position to do it because he can't get any of the cavalry, but he doesn't want to get surrounded and killed before he can do it. So at the end of the movement phase for the 5th turn, Damrod's heroic move has just plugged that line, made sure that Mordor can't break through and surround them. The captains have managed to get the initiative on Faramir, who's out of might. The leader has managed to charge him. Scully has charged a knight, and those 2 knights have been charged before they could do anything. The orc captains are slightly worried and realise that now that their numbers are slightly lower than they originally thought, and probably should have counter-called against Damrod, but they're just going to try and kill Faramir and then overwhelm Minas Tirith with their combat prowess. So there's no shooting because all of the Rangers are valiantly fighting for their lives. In the combat phase, the orcs need a morale boost, so they're going to start down here, where as much as they don't have the fight value, they do have the numbers. So they're going to go 2 of these spearmen fighting against a ranger for the first combat. And it goes to the orcs. And the orcs definitely get it on that 6. The next fight is this ranger on 2. Ranger rolls off the table, but he's going to need a 6. And only gets a 2. The warriors of Mordor there, the Moranon orcs, needing 4, strength 4, defense 4. They only need a 4 to wound, and they absolutely annihilate. In fact, we have a 1-on-1, and it goes to the ranger who needs a 6 to wound, who doesn't get it. The orc backs away. And then we have a spearman against a Moranon orc, and it goes to the orc who needs a 5. Despite suffering heavy losses, with a quick count up, there is 16 Mordor and 15 Minas Tirith on the field. So that one gets to re-roll with the army bonus into a 6. Last fight down here, we have Damrod and a spearman against a stabbing orc. There's no might on Damrod, so these 2 green are going to be good and 1 for red. 1 red will be it. And it is a Damrod killing 6 to win the fight, and he really needs to roll that again to come good on his promise. Sadly, it's just a 3, and Damrod and friend back away. Up here we have the riderless warg, who is desperate for blood against a warrior of Minas Tirith. The warg loses the combat and will go down on a 5. Oh, and it is a 5. And there he goes. The next fight along, we have a spearman who is still going to go brave and stab against those two. Sadly, his bravery doesn't pay off, but he is only wounded on a 6, which they are unable to get. On the line, we have the axeman against 2, and he is just going to fight normally and lose. Those 2 again, needing 6s to get through that tough armour, but a 5 is not enough. Here, 1 ranger against 1 spearman. It's a draw, but the ranger does have the fight value. He doesn't have the armour, but he does have the fight value. And he needs a 6, which he does not get. Again, that Mordor armour just too tough for them to break through. Another ranger against another warrior who's going to stab. Again, a draw, and the ranger takes it. Doesn't wound. Does the stabbing damage wound him? No, he doesn't. The cavalry didn't manage to get any charges. So here it is a 1-on-1. And it goes well and truly to the cavalry with a 6 on 2. And a 6 to wound. Annihilating that orc there. The next cavalry fight with a stray dice. The next cavalry fight, a 1-on-1. And again, the cavalryman showing his worth, needing another 6. Oh, not quite. And across here we have the captain on the rider. The captain with his 2 attacks against the rider's 1. Can that rider show his worth as much as those other riders? No. No, he can't. Is he going to get whipped out the saddle? 2 dice, needing 5s. And the captain gets him. He is dead. Final fight. Leader on leader. That's Faramir against Pointy Captain. And Pointy Captain in red, Faramir in green. Oh, and Faramir does take that on fight value. However, the captain uses a point of might to turn that 3 into a 4 and to win. The captain's going to play the long game, and he's going to use his first strike against the mount and kills it. His second strike, also a 6 against Faramir. Wishes he tried to cave his claim. Faramir rolls Fate and passes, and he rolls his Throne Rider, and he's absolutely... End of turn 5, and it's one big scrum. Forces of Minas Tirith are holding. The orcs, although they are fairly close to being broken, are still starting to gain some momentum now and are starting to cut through. The Minas Tirith line starting to buckle. Minas Tirith suffered a fair few casualties that turn, and their total being 6 dead. The forces of Mordor total is now at 10. That Warg Rider counts as 2 because they managed to kill the Warg and the Rider. And that is how it's looking at the end of turn 5. Into priority for turn 6. And it's a draw. Evil had it last, so it goes to good. Start of turn 6. Good priority, but Scully there calls a heroic move to try and stem the charge of the knights and to try and stop that shield wall from helping out Faramir. End of move phase, turn 6. Good priority, but Scully called a heroic move to try and stem this horde of Minas Tirith from breaking through and to stop the cavalry from charging. They managed to get both of their commanders onto Faramir. Down here, the orcs were only lightly charged by the forces of Minas Tirith, who tried to form a wall against the orcs who've gone. And the orcs instead didn't charge and have come up here to help next turn to either kill Faramir if he lives or to try and form a wall and face off against Minas Tirith up here to have more bodies in the fight. Shoot phase for turn 6. There is one unengaged ranger, but he's going to have to use his spear because he has no targets. Now this chap here is blocked off by these 2 in combat. Phase is one plucky guy with an axe facing off against Damrod and a ranger. The guy with an axe is just going to fight normally. And it goes to Damrod. That warrior didn't even try. Damrod will be needing 5s and gets him on a 6. Well done, Damrod. These 2 fights are spearman on spearman and spearman on spearman. The first combat goes to the warrior in Minas Tirith, who then needs a 6 and doesn't get it. And the next combat, again, Minas Tirith win, needing that 6 again, but it is only a 1. And these 2 orcs back away. The next fight is 2 on 1 orc. That orc is going to fight because he's brave. And he's so brave, he's going to stab. But he loses. Stabbing damage doesn't kill him. The warriors of Minas Tirith can't do it either. And he just backs away. Another 2 on 1 in favour of Minas Tirith. The warrior of Moranon, the Moranon orc, is just going to fight normally against the 2 warriors of Minas Tirith. And it goes to the orc, who, sadly needing 5s, is unable to get the kill. Here we have 2 rangers on 1, and again that orc is just going to fight. He's going to stab. Draw, and definitely a loss. So the rangers win, needing 6s. Again, still unable to get through that armour. Here we've got a 1 on 1. It's the cavalry. Again, fends off against the spearmen. 1 on 1. The cavalryman again winning. Can he get that 6? Ooh, not quite. Although he has done it many times before and has definitely paid for himself in blood. Blue orc blood. The next combat again, a 1 on 1. Ooh, well this time the orc proves true with a 4 to 3. And with that 4, he needs to turn it into a 5 and get him off his saddle. A 1. Sadly that 1 can't be re-rolled because they are 13 and 13. And here the big fight. Faramir on 2 green dice against Scully in the red and Pointy in the bigger, lighter red. And that is really not good for Faramir, who's already lost his fate and is now against 2 strength 5 Moranon captains. Faramir, in the best armour that Minas Tirith can provide, is defence 7, but still the incredible brute strength of 5 from the Moranon captains will only need a roll of a 5+ to wound him. Oh, and that is the least favourite son of Gondor cut down in his prime. There we have the end of turn 6. It's shaping up. The forces of good have still held off the forces of the Moranon orcs, but unfortunately everyone's favourite but Denethor's least favourite, Faramir, was finally taken down by the 2 captains, falling from his horse and being butchered under their blows. The forces of Minas Tirith are in disarray. Going into turn 7, both forces getting quite close to being broken, at which point it'll be a roll of a 1 or 2 to decide whether the game ends as per the scenario. So rolling for priority, and it goes to the forces of good. Beginning of turn 7, it is good's priority, but the last point of might for the captains, they appreciate just how tense and close this is going to be, so they call a heroic move to rally their orcs for one final push. So end of turn 7 movement, it's good priority, but initiative was stolen by the heroic move of the orcs, who smash in and have got ready to really carve up the remnants of Minas Tirith in this make or break turn. Damrod, however, the new captain of the Rangers in Faramir's absence, has taken on 2 orcs, jumping them from behind and allowing the spearmen that were with him to bolster that line and to make a heroic final stand. Damrod against 2 Moranon orcs sadly loses on a 2. The Moranon orcs there needing 5s to cut through his slightly tougher armour than the other rangers. And that is a 5. Faramir's Damrod rather, his 1 wound is lost, but he does have a single point of fate to keep him in the fight. And it's a 6. He is alive. Wounded and battered, but alive. In body of combat, we've got this 2 on 2, which goes to the forces of Minas Tirith, rallying, needing that 6, but not quite. And they back away. Next along the line, we have 3 here against 2. And it goes to the forces of evil, who need 5s to cut through that armour. And they get it. One of them goes down. Here we've got 3 rangers facing off against 2, and the combats are split into 2 rangers on 1 and 1 on 1. So first off, the 2 rangers on 1. The rangers win. You're needing to turn that 4 and a 3 into at least 1 6 to bring him down, but sadly they just roll exactly the same. And then there, the 1 on 1 goes to rangers again, needing a 6, but again not able to break him. Yeah, there's now trapped knight who didn't charge against Scully and a spearman. Scully has no might, so that all the 3 evil dice will be same standard red against 1 for good. And the evil win. He's trapped, so these are the captain's dice, needing a... no idea. Captain there, needing a 5, doesn't get it, but he does have a friend in the fight who will also be needing 5s on 2 because he's trapped, and he gets him. So the orcs back away because the knight was trapped, and they bring him down. Here we have 1 on 1, 1 knight against 1 orc. The Morannon orc wielding that axe badly, only with a 1. Needing a 6, doesn't kill him, but pushes him back. The final combat of the phase is a shielding, terrified man of Minas Tirith against the leader captain and 1 spear support. And shielding pays off. At the end of turn 7, there's Minas Tirith on the last legs, not far off broken, but Mordor are not that far behind. Minas Tirith still have quite a few dead, but Mordor are the same. So now, very close to the end of the game, going into turn 8 priority. And it goes to evil with a 6. At the end of the movement phase for turn 8, all of Minas Tirith are engaged, and it is looking nasty. There is, despite being out of might with both those captains, a heroic combat from Scully because of a time for heroes special rule for the scenario, which is every time a enemy hero is killed, one of your heroes in the combat regains a point of might. So Scully regained for killing Faramir, and he's going to use that to try and catapult around and finish these pesky rangers. First, Scully, who's now fully out of might, and his friend against a ranger. And that is a combat win for the forces of Mordor, needing 4s on these dice to wound. Being able to roll them twice because he's trapped, he is very, very dead. Scully, after his heroic move, has moved into that ranger. The spearman is potted over there, and now we are into the fight phase. So Damrod on 1, and it goes to the orc. Damrod will be taking a wound on a 5, but he's alright. He backs away. Over here we'll go to Scully against 1. Scully absolutely smashes him. Again, needing 4s to wound, and he kills him with a 5. The next fight, we have 2 on 1 here. And it is a 6 and a 3 to a 2. So the ranger loses again. Very, very vulnerable. Only a 4 to wound with the incredible strength from the orcs, but it is just a 2 and a 1. But the 1 is re-rollable with the army bonus if they outnumber them. Still a 1. Cannot re-roll a re-roll. So that ranger fends them off, not with armour, but with fighting skill. And they back away. Hard to see with the camera. They can choose the combats that benefit them the most, so they're going to go here with 2 on 1 against that guy who's trapped, who's not going to bother shielding. He knows it's nearly the end, and Minas Tirith are on the back foot, so he's going to go big or he's going to go home. And he goes big. He wins. Needing a 6, here we go. Valor is rewarded on a 3. He's trapped, so they back away instead. The next fight we have the leader captain on 1. Again, needing to try and salvage some VPs from this, the Minas Tirith warrior decides to stab. This time it definitely does not pay off. Needing 5s on here. Oh, but he doesn't die, which at least is some small payment for his bravery there. The next fight we have these two. Simple 1-on-1. And that goes to the Forces of Good. But they only roll a 4 to wound, which is definitely not enough to break that ridiculously tough defense 6 armor of the Mordor Orc. And then we've got a trap there. 1-on-1. But the brave who forgot to shield, Minas Tirith warrior, fends him off and very nearly kills him. But again, that 5 just not enough. 1-on-1 there. Again, winning with a 6. But still not a wound. He backs away. And that is all the fights in this big scrum. Few more Minas Tirith falling. No orcs. And then this is the final fight. A 1 attack knight who did not charge. He's not had momentum for a very long time. Been bogged down in this shallow stream against these 3 orcs. He's possibly about to breathe his last. 3-on-1. Oh, and he wins! Forgot that he was a knight and therefore ridiculously lucky. And a 6. An unbelievable knight smashes him into the ground, takes him out. And these two back away. And that is the end of turn 8. This is how it's shaping up. We've got Damrod trying valiantly to get to those few survivors. And the orcs still unbroken, about to annihilate them. So going into turn 9. The orcs are not quite broken, but Minas Tirith are. So at the end of this, we will be rolling a 1 or a 2 on the dice to see if we can end it, or a 3, 4, 5 or 6 to continue. The VPs are very close, so it is going to be a very tight game. Currently Minas Tirith are on the back foot, but they do have more kills than the orcs, so we'll see what happens with priority for turn 9. And it goes to Minas Tirith. Bravery never in question. He rallies the warriors of Minas Tirith to form one last heroic defence. The knight rides away from the 2 that have tried to kill him and ploughs into Pointy, the leader of the Mordor forces, to try and break them. It's now Evil's response. Shimming as many guys into combat as they can, and the guys from up there, one managed to get into combat, but one was just too far away for anything. That knight managing to elude him. And that is the end of the movement phase for turn 9. I'm going to go straight into combat. So, Damrod on 2. And Damrod sadly loses, and this could be a bit of a blow for Minas Tirith, only needing 5s to see him dead. He's lost his fate already, but he's fine. He backs off, hard as nails. Good old Damrod. 1-on-1 there. Sees a warrior with a spear against a warrior with a spear. Rolling off the table there, so it's a 3 for Mordor. Off the table again. And a 5 for good. Needing a 6. But a 2 doesn't cut it, so he backs away. Here we have Scully and 1 against a poor beleaguered ranger. 3-on-1. But the ranger wins. The ranger, needing to break the orcs, just goes for the standard guy, but only gets a 5 to wound him. Next we have 2 on this one here. He's going to fight normally because they need to break the forces of Mordor. Sadly, he loses with that 2 to the 4. and the 5 gets him. And that is another warrior down. Next along, it is 2 on 1. Again, he's just going to fight. 5, 4, and oh, cocked. 2. Not enough. Again, needing 5s to break him, and that 6 will most certainly do it. He falls. Damrod's rallied them, but it could be too little, too late. Here we have a 1-on-1. Spearman on swordsman, both fighting. 3 to 1. The orc needing a 5 only gets a 2, and he backs away. We have here the pointy captain, who is the leader of the forces of Mordor, against a charging knight with a lance and a bloke on foot. The orc really should be shielding, but he's leading from the front, and he is going to go big or go home, which is the mantra of this whole game, really. So 3 on 2. Oh, and that is not good for the orc. So we have now 4 dice, because it's 1 plus 1 for charging and then doubled from the knight, and he will be needing 6s. Now, in fact, no, he will be needing 5s because of his lance, and gets 2 wounds. And then the guy on foot will be needing 6s, and he will have 2 dice because he's on the floor. So this is a very big roll now. 1 fate to keep the leader in the game. Oh, and he fails it. He is dead. The knights have really been incredible this game, and he has gone down. And that is the end of the fight phase and the end of turn 9. Minas Tirith are well and truly broken. So at the end of this turn, we roll to see if it ends on a 1 or a 2. And it does not. 10. Probably going to be one of the very final turns. Crucial. Both forces broken. Both forces leaderless. Damrod rallying the forces of Minas Tirith. Scully rallying the forces of the orcs. Who will win? Let's get priority for turn 10. It goes to Damrod the Everbrave passed his courage test for being broken, rallying a couple of guys with him who have charged into some orcs. Here, the knight passed his, charging, and again a warrior passed his and got in. And here, a ranger passed, making it a complete 100% success for the courage tests for Minas Tirith. For Mordor, however, not so much. Blank. 4 guys ran, only 1 managed to pass and ran in. Not looking good for the very poor bravery of the Morannon orcs there. Straight into combat. Damrod going for that orc. 1-on-1. Damrod wins, needing a 5 to kill. Doesn't quite get it. The next fight, 1-on-1. Both just fighting normally. And it's a draw. 1, 2 or 3 to evil. 4, 5 or 6 to good. Goes to good. Needing a 6. Doesn't quite get him. Pushing him back there. And here, another 1-on-1. Goes to good. Again, not enough. Minas Tirith now just needing to survive and hoping that courage will be the downfall of the orcs. Here, Captain Scully and his friend on a ranger, so 3-on-1. And the ranger could be in trouble there. Needing 4s. Dead. Last 2 fights, we have a 1-on-1. Going to Minas Tirith. Unable to wound. And then we have the charging knight against a stabbing, very brave stabbing orc there. And the orc wins. So he needs 5s to take him off his horse. Ooh, not quite. And he backs away. Both of those have already fought different people. And so that is the end of turn 10, possibly 11. I believe 10. And that's how it's shaping up right now. Does the game end on a 1 or a 2? It does not. This is how we're looking at the start of turn 11. Both forces broken, both forces very, very battered and beleaguered. Who is going to get priority? And it goes to evil. In the movement phase, a lot of orcs, including Scully, ran. Fled from the battle. Their mettle was just not enough to stand against the might of Damrod, who has well and truly rallied his surviving warriors of Minas Tirith and is fighting hard. No warriors of Minas Tirith that weren't tagged failed, and everyone is in combat. The knight didn't get the charge, but it is not looking good for the warriors of the Moranon orcs into combat. Damrod and friend against a plucky orc who is going to try his best to cave in Damrod's skull and get a moral victory. Oh no, not quite. The glare, I didn't see the 6, but Damrod has got it. Damrod needing a 5, kills him. Well done, Damrod. The next fight, 1-on-1, goes to the orcs, who needs a 5. Not quite. Strength is falling from the Moranons there. And then final fight is a 2-on-1. One from the knight, one from the guy on foot against that orc. And it goes to the orc, who's going to get revenge on that knight who has done a lot of work. With a 5, gets him. And that knight finally goes down, but he really has shown just what the knight can do. And that is the end of turn 11, with just 2 orcs remaining and 4 warriors of Minas Tirith, including the ever-brave Damrod. Turn 11, does the game end? It does, on a 1. Let's go count up the VPs and see who has won. The end of an incredibly bloody encounter, leaving just 3 warriors of Minas Tirith and Damrod alive and 2 warriors of Moranon. The evil side managed to get 19 wounds, 5 off Faramir, who actually did have more fate and wounds than we thought, although he still would have died. He gave up 3 wounds to fate, and Damrod, who gave up 1. With the kills there, that's the dead pile, taking the evil total to 19. Good, however, smashed in the 2 captains and the warg and the rider, plus the host of Moranon, seeing them up to 26, which, while not quite double, is still clearly more, netting them 3 VPs to 0. And then both leaders died, taking it to 5-2, because you get 2 VPs for killing. So 5-2 to Minas Tirith, and then both forces are broken, which is 6-3. They're both very, very broken. And so a 6-3 win to Minas Tirith for Lords of Battle. Thank you for watching.
So again, just me saying thank you very much for watching. Please do like, comment and subscribe. Thank you.